by your microphone.
I know. I was trying to see if mine was on.
Yeah,
It's on.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Hi. Hello, everyone. All right.
All right, well, I think how we're going to do it first is I have a preset panel questions, and then I guess after we go through those, everyone else has questions, I guess?
Okay.
So, I think we get started now.
Let's do it!
All right. First question I actually have for Brennan.
Yes.
What was the hardest stunt you had to perform while on Dino Charge?
Well, they actually cut it from the episode, but when I played the Prince of Xandar, like pretending to be him, I do a backflip when I first enter the base and then run in, but Yoshi dropped me at it. We went to a gym, an open gym, and we were training, and I was trying to teach him to hold me in a handstand. I'm like, Yoshi's strong and athletic, he could do it, but he's never done it. And so he dropped me, kind of. I mean, it was my fault for just assuming he could do everything. And my ankle popped. And so I couldn't, like, jump or walk on it or throw kicks very well. And so, like, I kept doing backflips, and they kept getting lower and lower. And Yoshi's like, he has, like, one more in him. He's talking to the director. But, yeah, that was probably the hardest one, just because of my injury. But, yeah.
Second question. This one is for Catherine. Out of NMPR, Zeo, and Turbo, what season did you have the most fun on and why?
Well, it looked like different seasons to you, but they kind of rolled into each other. Like, it was just a different costume to us. So, just a moment.
Hello.
So, most fun. I really liked being evil in Mighty Morphin. That was fun before I became the Pink Ranger. And then, just a second again, I've got a call coming in.
Hey, Kat, how's it going?
And then, of course, when Nokia joined the show, we had a lot of fun together. And then Turbo was fun because we got to do more fight sequences. So we got to do more. We didn't do any fighting in Zeo at all. So it was fun to do that again. So, yes.
Third question is for Nokia. What was the hardest thing you had to do on set of Turbo?
Leave.
That's fair.
That was by far the hardest. When we were filming the last episode, of Turbo, and we knew that we didn't know what the future held. You know, we didn't have, I don't even think MySpace was around then. No, we had pagers, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have social media.
In the dark ages.
Yeah, back in
Yeah,
the old ages. So I didn't know if, we had become a family on set, so I didn't know if I was going to see my family. I didn't know if Kat and I were actually going to keep in contact, and so it was really hard. And when we were filming the passing of the torch, Kat and I were boo-hooing like the entire time. They had to keep saying, "Cut!" because our eyes were like puffy, and then they were like, "Let's just film from behind here." We're like, "Okay, we're gonna get it together. We're gonna." But I would say that was the most difficult. I do have a question for you, Brennan.
Yeah, please.
You were talking about you hurt your ankle. Were you guys doing your own stunts?
So yes and no. For that particular thing, Chip asked us for a list of all of our individual skills, like to see if he could write them into episodes. And so he asked Yoshi and I if we could do some kind of acrobatic thing together. He didn't say what. And so that's what I tried to teach Yoshi to do. And then, of course, but in the suit stuff was still primarily always doubles. But we got some civilian fights.
So the reason why I asked him that is because a lot of the time, when we were on the show in Zeo, we did no fighting because they didn't want. Some things had happened in Mighty Morphin. Apparently, some of the actors had gotten hurt, so it would stop production. So that's why they have stunt guys that are doing most of the stuff there. And when Brennan hurt himself, then that's going to kind of cause. Yeah, Yoshi's fault. Yoshi's fault.
Hey now.
Yeah, it can halt production if the actors get hurt. So, yeah.
All right. Next question. This goes back to Brennan.
Ready. Dino Charger ready. Get it? That's fine. That's what I say on the show.
I asked you this earlier, but I figured I'd ask you the channel again. Did they let you keep any props from set after?
They did. They let us keep 10 items from our wardrobe.
10?
10.
What?
Because there was 10 Rangers. I don't know. Yeah, they did count it out. So I kept like some stuff I never even wore on the show that they bought for my character. It was like a red jacket that almost looked like a Letterman's jacket, and I took it for auditions for other shows, you know, to look like a jock. I kept my bracelet that my dad gave me on the show, my Energem necklace that I'm not wearing right now. This is from New Zealand, it's a Punama necklace. Yeah, I kept my boots, my jeans, because they were like the first time I ever had stretchy jeans and I could like use the splits in them, and I was really impressed by them, and now all my jeans are that way, essentially. But what else? I don't know, I mean the necklace and the Energem, I mean the bracelet and no, nothing suit-wise. I kept one dino charger from set, which I went to a friend's son's birthday party, and because he asked, like, oh, you know, can you come to my son's birthday? I was like, sure, because we're friends. And I let the kid take a picture with my dino charger, where the kid thought I gave it to him, and then I couldn't take it back because I felt weird, so the kid kept it. So my one screen-used dino charger disappeared with the 4-year-old. What can you do?
How old was the kid?
Like 4 or something. Yeah.
Aww.
I was like,
I would have snuck
You're
it
a
away.
good guy. I'd have been like, give it back!
I know, give it
I gotta ask what the guy is. Were they like the Japanese toy one? Or
They were. Yeah, they were. The Japanese ones, for sure.
That's cool.
They just brought the toys over and then gave them paint jobs and put stickers on the back so they were in English. Yeah.
Alright, next question for Catherine. There has been talk of a 3-hour cut of Turbo Power Rangers movie that exists out there somewhere.
I never heard this.
How much of your screen time was cut and what scenes were they?
Yeah, they cut a lot out. There was a campfire scene. There was a scene where Tanya and Adam meet a mermaid underwater.
What?
That's how that scene actually explained why the Zeo crystals were no longer powerful.
Why?
And
Tell
they
me.
cut that.
What happened?
So there was something with Tanya and Adam are looking for Kimberly and Jason, and this mermaid happens, and then the crystals something happens to the crystals underwater, and they ended up coming out of the ocean, and their suits were all ripped apart. Do you remember that scene? No,
Nope.
you don't remember that. And then there was more involved in the scene with me and Jason and Larigo. They cut stuff out of that. There was you can see on the back of the DVD, I have a flamethrower. And so that scene is like I fall off the waterfall, we get to the side, I'm like, oh, my leg, and then a huge crocodile was supposed to come out of the water and like try to eat me. And then I get the flamethrower and burn it.
Where did you get the flamethrower?
I don't know, I pull it out of that backpack.
That's cool.
That backpack had a water this big, water bottle this big. We
You
were
were
dying.
ready.
When we get the water bottle, we were like, it was literally like a baby bottle. And we go, this is it? And they said, well, just imagine Zordon has like some kind of water replenisher inside that backpack.
Wow, and a flamethrower.
And a flamethrower,
Rangers, take the
Crazy.
flamethrower now.
And then there was a lot of fighting that was cut on the boat. We had some amazing fight scenes with the pod monsters that was cut out.
We see,
I'm
does this
sure.
exist? Director's
Yeah,
cut
I'm
somewhere?
sure
Do you
it
have
does.
it?
I don't, but I wish I did. I did
I wanna
this
see
amazing
it.
scorpion kick where I like grab onto the monster and I kick him from behind.
That sounds epic.
Awesome.
I want to see this version.
Yeah,
Guys, write a letter to Saban. Here's his address. It's 11
yeah. So there was a lot. I'd say there was, the movie was an hour and a half, so there's an hour and a half of footage cut. Yeah.
I like that.
Question for Nakia.
Cool.
Question for Nakia. Do you ever cosplay as your ranger at cons and walk among fans with them completely oblivious that it's you?
No, I've never done that. I have worn my suit at a couple of cons to take pictures in and so forth, but it has since retired. I've
That suit's seen
the
better
suit.
days.
It has seen better days. Although I have worn it in some of the skits that we played, but I haven't walked around in cosplay. Yeah. Although we have talked about that,
We have.
going to Starbucks
Yeah.
in the
Now
suits.
Do it.
That would be funny.
That would be very funny. We might actually do something like that for one of our episodes on our YouTube channel.
Great idea. Now I have another question for Brennan. What was your experience like on American Horror Story?
Scary.
Which incarnation?
I was in the first one.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I was in the season finale. I was that kid who moved in with the new family. We get
Yes.
scared. Yeah, that was me.
That
You didn't
was
know, did you
you!
guys? Yeah, I did stuff other than Rangers. Okay.
Oh my gosh, you're
Whatever.
famous.
Thanks. Me too. That was cool. That audition. So I worked on a pilot. For those who don't know, a pilot's like the first episode of something. But the pilot didn't get picked up. So we shot and filmed the full hour TV show. I was a recurring character, but the network passed on it, which was a bummer. But I became friends with the producer, and the producer became the producer of American Horror Story. And they were looking for a Latin kid to be the son. And he's like, oh, I met this guy, so we should audition him. So I still had to audition. I wasn't just given the role, but I got it, which was cool. And I had a stunt double who did the skateboarding part. We became friends and actually worked on a stunt job together 2 years ago. So it's just like such a small world, because he auditioned for my part on American Horror Story, but became my double instead. But yeah, that was right. And I got to be choked by Evan Peters. Like, that was cool. You know, he became fast dude, and I was gonna say the Flash. I was like, that's not the right speedster. But whatever, you know what I mean. Yeah, so that was fun. He was in a lot of American Horror Stories. He was in different Marvel movies. He was in WandaVision. Never Back Down. I think he was in that too. Yeah, he's been in lots of things. Yeah, fun times.
Now, another question for Catherine. What suit out of the three you had did you like most?
I had 4 suits actually, because I had the Ninjetti as well.
Oh, yeah.
So that was my favorite, the Ninjetti. I love that one. Of the other 3, I think Zio was my favorite suit because I loved the intricacy and I was really into Egypt. So I thought it had this kind of Egyptian
I love the
look.
Zio suits.
I love the
They're
Zio
so cool.
suits, yeah. The helmets were kind of boring though. I liked
Zio
the,
Gold is my favorite
Oh, that
suit
was-
of any
yes.
season.
that was pretty epic, the Gold Ranger, yeah. But I liked the Mighty Morphin helmets and the Zio suit. Yeah.
Mix and match.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
good.
agree. I could
Yeah, with your lightning figures, just pop the head off and put on the other one.
Yeah, that works.
You should actually cosplay like that, just like mix up,
Mix
put
them?
on like the Ninjetti pants,
Agreed.
Yeah,
then
I'm gonna
the
put
top part
spandex
of
on.
the Zio, and then the turbo helmet.
I'd pay
I
for a
should.
photo.
Maybe you should.
I believe they do a bit of that in the comics now.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, I've seen artwork at least. I don't know if it's actually in it, but I've seen like on the cover art where it has like Mighty Morphin with Zio.
Oh, okay,
But,
cool. Cool beans.
question for Nokia.
Question for me.
How often did props break while filming?
How often did the props break when filming? Well, that wonderful communicator, that would pop off pretty often. Everything was a toy. So, you know, we do the Xionizers, we do the shift into turbo. It was very easy to pop off. And then they would just either tape it back together, that you guys couldn't see, that there was tape right underneath there, because we would turn our arm this way, but there'd be tape. Like, it was so funny. Yeah, a lot of things were taped together. To answer your question, yeah, there you go.
And we were using the toys that you guys bought. That was what we were actually using on the show. They weren't like better.
They were screen accurate.
Yeah, they were.
That's right.
Yeah, like the lightning figures now are so well made, way better than what we used. So.
And then last question. This I thought of real quick, but this is for Brennan. In Dino Charge, you have a Jeep that looks quite similar to what's in Jurassic Park. Was that intentional?
I have no idea. I'm gonna say yes, but I don't know. I'm gonna say yes.
Did you actually drive it?
I did a couple times.
Did
But
it
then
work?
It worked. Yeah, it was an American Jeep that was, brought to New Zealand. So in New Zealand, like the driver's side's the right side, So that Jeep was an American Jeep with it on the left side. So they would have to close down streets because then I'd have to drive on the wrong side of the road and not kill myself. So yeah.
So our vehicles for Turbo were not good. We would film like Johnny's van. What did we call it? Like the kidnapping van? Like it was just like, he'd roll up in a van, like for real.
We were
But
like
yeah,
a
we
van.
would have to start the cars and then just even move them just a little bit. Mine would be like seriously, I had the Suzuki Samurai, and it would go like a couple of inches and then it would die. And Johnny's van was, the outside looked great, but the car itself, the cars, all of the vehicles, they were a
just
hot
never
mess.
wanted to fix them? No? Wasn't worth it?
Yeah, I mean, they were just to look pretty. Yeah. And then they had the Japanese footage where they would just, you know, insert that and it made it look like it was speeding down the road when it really was just putt-putting.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Movie magic.
I think we have questions for the audience now.
Yeah, audience, what's your favorite color?
Questions.
Oh, you mean audience questions for us? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna do it the other way, whatever.
Any questions?
Was all the production in New Zealand for all the Power Rangers series?
No, we filmed the first 5 seasons of Power Rangers was filmed in Valencia, which is in California. And we did some in Castaic Lake and Vasquez Rocks, but it was all in that area. And then when Disney took over, they moved to New Zealand.
You shot? Wait. Yeah.
So
Where was the
Mighty
movie
Morphin
shot?
Zeo.
Turbo.
was, we shot a little bit in Tennessee. There was some shot in Hawaii, which we didn't go to Hawaii, but a lot of the Diva Talk stuff.
I didn't go anywhere. You said
Tennessee.
we. Oh, I didn't go anywhere. I was the only one in the cast when we were filming the movie that did not go anywhere.
Blake didn't.
Blake was little.
That's
Oh, he doesn't count?
He doesn't
Okay.
count.
Yeah, Tennessee, Northern California, and then mostly Southern California. Yeah.
Are you all LA
Yeah.
based now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what else have you done?
I shot a movie in July with Tom Cavanaugh, Bruce Willis, Michael Rooker, called Corrective Measures, and it comes out next year on Tubi, which is like a streaming service. And I play a character who gets put in a supermax prison for superpowered individuals. So basically, anyone who has a superpower gets sent to this place, regardless of like how small the crime was. So like my crime doesn't fit the punishment kind of deal. So I'm like a fish out of water, and then certain people in the prison are trying to escape, and there's a corrupt like individuals in the law there. It's a pretty cool story. It's based off of a graphic novel called Corrective Measures. So you could look it up. Yeah.
Are they all in prison with you?
Yeah.
Michael Rooker?
I mean, I don't know what I'm allowed to give away exactly, so some are,
Just
some
tell
aren't.
us.
I mean, a yes to everything. Yes. 100%. Batman agrees. Yeah.
Batman's in the
He
house.
nodded! I saw. Yeah, see? Exactly. Come on.
I quit the industry a long time ago.
Good choice.
I did, yes. I did commercials. I did a movie called The Cell. I did voiceover work, and then I just hated auditioning. I just really hated auditioning.
It's the worst.
It is awful, and I felt like it was eating my soul.
It was. No, that was accurate. It wasn't. It didn't feel like it actually legit. Go on.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so
I'm interrupting.
after I did I was a personal trainer for a little while. I taught Pilates, and then I had babies, and I stepped away for a while because I had 2 very young babies, and then I now write, and I do my show with Nokia. I've done some things when friends ask, but I no longer want to audition. So, yeah.
I've done nothing after Power Rangers.
Lies.
Sits on her couch and
Not
eats
even.
popcorn.
No. She's making that up.
I'm currently on a show called Danger Force on Nickelodeon. I play the mom of 2 superhero twins.
It's pretty
and-
meta.
Yeah,
That's cool though.
it's fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Of course, I don't know that they're superheroes. The mom never knows, but
But they don't know that you are either.
Yeah, and they don't know that I was.
Haha! In the last episode, they're gonna need to be saved by someone. You're gonna morph.
I
I'm just
know.
putting that out there.
I know it's funny because whenever I post about it, they're like, "Why are you wearing yellow?" And then I did ask the wardrobe, "Are you like putting me in yellow?" Because they were like, "Oh, you know what? I didn't even think about that." But no, yeah, it just
Subliminal.
yeah, it just happens. I've been blessed to do a lot of work after Power Rangers. So if you get a chance to just look me up on IMDb, and then you can see the things that I've done.
She's done a lot. I'll just do it for her because she's being very
Star Trek!
humble. She's being very humble. She's done Heart of Dixie, Angie Tribeca, what was the one with Jennifer Jason Leigh? Atypical. She did a movie about Tupac. She's I mean, the list goes on. So there we go. That's just a few, just to give you a taste.
Yeah.
You're very sweet, Kat. Thank you. Questions?
Questions?
From the audience.
This is my best friend Mejia for 20-something years who came to visit.
Hi, Mejia.
Hi, Mejia!
Thanks for visiting.
So that's the one he was asking. Turbo was filmed in Southern California, Tennessee, and Hawaii, and a little bit in Northern California.
Dino Charge was New Zealand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, have you ever heard Johnny's band?
Yes.
No.
You haven't?
No.
Oh,
You didn't invite me to
great.
anything.
No, he plays sometimes at conventions, but we were shocked the first time we saw him because when Johnny was on the show with us, he's a very quiet, shy kind of person. And so we were at Paramorphicon and his band was playing. We're like, oh, we'll come and support you. And we were like, what is happening right now? Because he's a total rock star. It's so funny.
I love Johnny. He's one of my favorites.
He's a lot of fun.
Such a
I
good guy.
got to run sound for him for a couple of events.
Oh,
Some
okay.
Comic-Cons is why I know him. I'm sitting in pictures right now.
Oh,
Oh,
cool. Tell him we say hi.
yes, tell him hi. He's a lot of fun. Yeah, very talented.
Other questions? Comments, concerns? Batman?
We know you have some. Okay, we have one over here. And then
Russell! Okay, not Russell.
Huh? Okay.
Really cool. I almost came back for Ninja Steel. Like, initially Ninja Steel was going to have 2 different team-up episodes. It was going to be Dino Charge and Ninja Steel, and then they changed it to the reunion episode only. And then initially, like, Chip kept sending new emails. He's like, okay, so I'm going to bring back some of you guys. And he's like, okay, just kidding, you guys are out. Now it's between Camille, Yoshi, Brennan, and whoever. Okay, just kidding, Camille's not going. Okay, now it's between Brennan and... I was like, dude, Chip, just bring Yoshi back, his brother's in it. And he was like, I appreciate it. I was probably going to lean that way anyway, but it's like, yeah. So when I actually did get to come back, I was like, this is cool, you know, because we did 2 episodes technically for the team up instead of just 1, which is always super rushed. But yeah, I was really thankful to come back. And I mean, we were with Mighty Morphin, you know, just Jason. I wish others were there, but I understand business and busyness is what I meant to say. But yeah, super cool, super cool.
First, what was it like taking over the role for Amy Kimberly, and then passing the powers on to Patricia if we pass it?
I think they did a really nice job with Kimberly's exit because they didn't do that for the other Rangers. They were just gone one day and the fans didn't understand what had happened, you know. So when Amy had expressed she wanted to leave, I think it was good they gave her a nice, you know, wrap up for the fans. I didn't know anything about the show when I was cast. I just came over from Australia and was on a, you know, series, and I thought at first I was an addition to the cast. I didn't know I was replacing anybody. So once I realized how popular the show was and how popular Kimberly was, it was a lot. I had big shoes to fill, so it was intimidating. It was very intimidating, but they did a good job making our characters very different, and I think because they gave her that exit, it helped the fans kind of saw what was happening. You know, oh, you know, Kat's starting to wear pale pink. Maybe that's a sign. So yeah, and then passing the torch to Patricia. She was lovely, and it was just the way that the whole thing was handled was really poor taste. So it wasn't anything to do with the cast. They were all lovely people. It was just the way that we found out, and everything was just not very nice. So we were a little bit resentful about it when we left. But I think Patricia did a great job, and she was a very popular Pink Ranger, and I think they made a great choice in her. So. Nokia. Yes.
So just like Kat, I had no idea that I was replacing anyone. When I auditioned, I didn't even know I was going to be a Ranger. They told me to wear yellow, and that was it. And I was like, okay. I didn't know what Power Rangers was, I ain't gonna lie. I was a college student at the time, so I hadn't even seen the show. I just knew that it was a job, and I knew that I was in the School of Theater, Film, and Television, so I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get a job before I graduate? So that's all I thought about. So when I went to the audition, you know, there were a couple hundred girls, and I just did the best that I could. And then after 5 auditions, I ended up, you know, being blessed with the role. And I didn't find out until I was actually on set that I'd replaced someone. And I saw Karen from the window in the makeup room. She had just done her last filming, and she was walking to her car, and that's the only glimpse that I had of her. Passing of the torch, it's basically dittoing what Kat said. I knew Tracy beforehand. So there was just a lot of, the way that everything was handled when we left the show was just very disgusting, to say the least. And so there were a lot of feelings that were going on. I told you that we were crying, but there was a lot of anger and frustration with the producers and so forth, the way that they handled everything. So it wasn't a great experience when we left. And I'll leave it at that. Word.
I've got a question for you, Jen. Do you have children?
I do.
And Ken, I know you said you did. Did they dress up as Power Rangers for Halloween?
Never.
No, never. No. My children are traders. They liked Ninjago and Ninja Turtles, but they didn't watch Power Rangers.
That's funny.
My boys were just into Marvel. I mean, my youngest, he's 18 now, and my oldest is 21. When my youngest he was about 11 or 12, he told me I wasn't a superhero because I was in Spider-Man.
Oh my
I was
god.
like, what?
I watched Power Rangers growing up. Like, I watched you guys as a kid, so like...
Thank you.
Welcome.
Oh.
Brennan.
Yeah.
She should have had you as a son.
I know, come on! I don't know how that even works, but make it happen. I love my mom.
Aww. That man had a question, I think. No?
Oh, he had a
No.
question over here.
Who? Where?
Yes,
Where?
right here.
Kind of a 2-in-1 question for Brennan. When you said you watched Power Rangers, did you know you were auditioning for the Red Ranger when you auditioned? And when you got the role, did you feel overwhelmed or like you had big shoes to fill?
Yeah, I didn't know who I was auditioning for. I just brought a bunch of different colored t-shirts to the callbacks. So I actually initially auditioned for Samurai and didn't get it, and I was so bummed that I never wanted to audition for Power Rangers again because I really wanted it, because like I grew up watching it, and you know, like, oh, this is like a show that I'm actually connected to versus other roles like American Horror Story and iCarly, and all that was cool. But like I was in the first seasons of those shows, they weren't as popular yet, because being in the pilot episode of iCarly, I didn't know what it was going to be. American Horror Story, again, I didn't know what it was going to be. Power Rangers, I already knew what it was, and I wanted it. So when I didn't get it, I was just like, forget it, not auditioning. And then a friend of mine told me that he saw an audition for Dino Charge when he was auditioning for something else next door. And he's like, I told them that you're a circus performer and they want to meet you. I was like, oh, that's weird, okay. So I auditioned, and then when I got it, yeah, they lied to us and told us that we had to come for one final audition after telling us a month prior that they would make their decision within a month. And I was like, they've seen me 4 times for this. They saw me 3 times for Samurai. Like, how do they not know? And so when I went to the audition, they gave me sides to read. It's called a cold read, where you don't get a chance to look at it before. And I was like, can I step outside to go over it? Like, no, you gotta do it right now. It's like, I've never ever had that in my life where I didn't even get to read it. Like, as I'm reading it, I have to act it, which is really hard. And they're filming it, and in the scene, my character is supposed to be talking to his mentor, and the mentor is like, open this box to reveal your destiny, and then they handed me an actual box. And so I'm like, okay, and I open the box as I'm holding my script, and it says, congratulations, you're the Red Ranger. So they were lying to me! Yeah, so they were sweet, and then they gave me...
That's like what they did with Yoshi and Peter when
Yeah. Yoshi, they lied to Yoshi.
Yeah.
Like, Chip's like, yeah, I'm sorry, your brother didn't get it.
Yeah.
And then, like, on stage, he thought he was hallucinating when he read Peter's name, and I slapped him on the back. And then he realized it was real, and so,
That
yeah.
was so cute. That was a sweet moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
I
awesome.
feel like you had big, like...
Oh, big shoes. Yeah, definitely. I was intimidated by the sense that I wanted to do the show proud. You know, until the reviews came out, you never know. And then I got to the point, like, I was thankful that people seemed to like Dino Charge, it was well received. But even now, going forward, I don't put as much on myself because I can't control the editing, what scenes they choose, the lines I'm given, the angles they film. Like, all that's so out of our control. So I give myself more grace, and I don't let negative comments really affect me as much. But thankfully, there weren't too many about Dino Charge overall. So, yeah. Batman.
Did you guys get to keep anything from the shows? Or did you keep anything anyways?
The Dino Charger I wasn't technically supposed to have, but then karma caught up to me and the kid took it. So, the Energem and my bracelet were the things that I got to keep that I treasure the most. And I have my red vest from the show too. It's behind my table somewhere. Yeah.
I had I don't know where it's gone now, but I had a pink beret. I'm serious. That's all. That and my communicator. I did get to keep my communicator and the mold of my power coin. But that's it.
But wait, we've discovered in our
Yes.
treasure boxes that
Toys
you
and
got
scripts.
toys. So you got toys. She had my toy.
I
was
have
like,
toys.
why did I get my toy?
Did she sign it
Yeah.
and sell it to you?
Yeah, how much you want for
Outside.
it? Yeah, and then I have all my scripts and everything, but we didn't get to keep our costumes, or I do have my turbo costume.
They gave us our communicator. Didn't
Yeah,
they give you yours?
I got my communicator, and I have my turbo suit, but not because I got that years later
Yeah, from someone. That
from
stole
someone.
it for you.
I won't say who.
I got to keep underwear that they gave me.
Underwear.
They did.
Oh.
Sometimes they gave us underwear.
Clean?
No, it came off somebody else and then I wore it.
No, did they wash? Was it your underwear that you wore?
Okay, so anyway, I'm not even going to.
They gave us underwear.
They
I
did
just
give us
realized that.
they gave us
Yeah.
underwear.
Did
Because
they give you underwear?
because they didn't want us
No,
to
not
have
to
panty
keep.
lines
I don't know why they
on
gave us
certain
underwear.
things. I know, I just got intimate with them.
Underwear is not intimate.
Inside of there was an episode where I played, I was in Turbo, I was a DJ. I worked for a radio station. And there's this episode where I have these yellow snakeskin pants on. Now, back in my 20s, it was difficult to get those pants on. They gave them to me. And they're inside of my room, and I can't get them over my ankles, but I have them. I do have them. And then inside of the box, when I discovered that I had a Power Ranger box, there was a telephone book that had that had us on the front of it. Was it for the Turbo movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, for the Turbo
Yellow
movie.
pages.
The yellow pages. I know that's before some of your time. You don't know what the yellow pages are because we have Google for everything. Oh, you do. Thank you. So I have a telephone book. I do have some miniature toys that they gave me. My yellow snakeskin pants. My communicator. That's about it.
Photos. We have photos.
Yeah,
And
we have
memories.
And memories.
And memories.
Yes.
Yeah, I
memories.
found a lot of photos. Yeah.
Can't take those from me.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Were those photos like stuff you took on the set even though like they wouldn't allow it, or did they allow you to take these photos?
Well, they had a set photographer, and so we were allowed to go and pick out photos, and they would print them for us. And then we had our own cameras that we would take. I've got a lot of behind-the-scenes pictures that I took.
Which we made into a book that's on our
Yes.
table.
Yes.
So there's a lot of photos that have not been seen online and so forth
Yeah.
that we put inside it because I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know I had all of these photos, and it was like memories
Yes.
of just going back. And so we decided to make a book. And we put it together, and it's behind the scenes.
That
on our
reminds
table.
me, Chip lied to us. So Chip is our executive producer. He's been on it since Mighty Morphin in a different capacity. But Dino Charge was the first time he was EP and also head writer, like all in one. And he told us to make a scrapbook. And whoever made the best scrapbook out of the Rangers would get some kind of prize at the end of the year. And we're like, well, what is it? Like, is it a prop or something? And so a couple of us put an effort. And by me putting an effort, I passed the job on to my wife, because she's much better at that stuff. And although I technically won, he's like, the prize is this book of all your memories. So like, I have a scrapbook of Dino Charge with all these behind-the-scenes pictures, which didn't actually win me anything except the book itself. So yeah, it was funny. It was. It's a good one.
Chip sounds like a bit of a jokester. Huh?
He is. He lies to you, and stuff, but he's nice.
He was on our show, but
Yes.
he
He's
was
a director,
writer.
director and writer.
Yeah. So he wasn't He was an executive producer when we were on the show in the 90s.
Yeah.
More questions? Yes, darling.
So today's the 25th anniversary of the Power Rangers Zeo episode, Small Problem, where Prince Rocket, shrinks y'all and puts you in the terrarium. I was just wondering if you had, any insight in that, or, how they filmed the
Yeah, so we did a lot of green screen for that. So they have a green screen behind you, and then they put in the scene behind us to make us look little. So with the tarantula, that was what they did. We just had to pretend like we were scared of the spider, and yeah.
And also the camera angles. I remember when we were doing
Yeah.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and we were inside of it wasn't Honey, I Shrunk the Rangers, and we were inside of the park, and they made this huge apple made out of styrofoam, and then we were standing next to them and next to the apple, and the camera angle made us look really, much smaller, or they would make the camera like this so that we looked really big or more tilted. So.
You be far in front, and then whatever the item was really was supposed to look small way back. So yeah, just a lot of camera tricks.
How did you know it was the anniversary? We had no idea. Thank you.
I'm a history major, so I always the anniversary.
I have a fan that sends me every day. Today is the episode. His name's Michael Sanders, and he sends me videos and pictures all the time. And I'm like, oh, I love this. I get to
That's great.
relive it. It's fun.
Thank you for that. I
Yes,
had no
thank
idea.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up on all the seasons, so I really watched that episode on the 25th anniversary.
Oh
Caught
wow.
up on Zeo and then
So tomorrow, he said, is oily to bed, oily to rise. That's the episode for tomorrow's 25th season.
Wow.
Look at me, just wealth of knowledge.
Yes.
Did they release a new episode every day back then?
Well, yeah, did they release an episode every
I
day?
feel like it was Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
Fox Kids.
Yeah.
We were filming a lot. My first season of Power Rangers was 50 episodes.
Yeah.
And then, we did almost half the season for Turbo. But yeah, that's a lot of episodes for one season.
Yes. Yes. No breaks. How many did you guys have in your season?
Or
44.
yeah.
Okay. And didn't you do
But we did
super
two
super
seasons
dynamic?
technically.
Yeah.
It was literally the same season. It was just they add super and they can make new toy boxes. That say super.
Exactly. It's about the toys. Yeah.
Sell new toys.
Yes.
Word. Questions? But I go fast.
I got one more.
Yes.
So you take Adam West had a really tough time with producers after he left Batman. Did your producers put any kind of restrictions on you through your life to be like you are tonight, or getting in the suit and taking pictures? Is there anything like that been a problem, or?
Yeah, well, there wasn't really conventions going on when that we knew of. We didn't start doing conventions until 2009. But they do have restrictions on, well, for me personally, because I was Australian and they brought me over for the show, they actually helped me get my green card, which was very sweet of them, but I was restricted. I could only work for them until I was released from my contract. And then you guys weren't allowed to do anything for a year after you left the show, right?
Hello, 2 years. In regards to conventions, so we couldn't sign unless it was one that Saban set up for us. But it's not I feel like it was enforced that heavily, but technically,
Yeah.
When I remember being on this show and auditioning for other shows, but it became extremely hard to work on another show when I was on Power Rangers. There were definitely some restrictions.
Yeah.
Cool. Any other questions before we call it and go back to our tables?
Question. No question. Question.
Well, yeah, okay. Two at the same time. Okay, last two questions. Superman, go.
Hey, I was wondering if you could morph before you go.
Yeah, Kat, take it away.
Spin.
Do I have to stand up? Can I just do it in my seat? To do it with me, because we can do them all together.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. She does, right? You want to?
Yeah, she does.
Come on. We'll do Zeo first.
Girl power, go.
I don't remember Turbo, so you said first as if I knew Turbo. I'll just go.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect.
That's pretty much it. Yeah,
Okay,
that looked good.
Zeo Ranger 1, pink.
go.
What do we do? Shift into turbo. You go. Shift into turbo. Yep, I
There
took
you
it.
go.
Zero Ranger 2 yellow.
That's about it.
Yay!
Yes.
Woo.
We did
That's what
one
we
where
did.
we went. No,
You
we
like
went-
drew
we went-
it, and yeah.
I always have to do it with sound effects. I'm all. And then we had.
Did you do something for Ninjetti?
Yeah, we went Ninja Ranger Power Now, and then it was like something like that.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Something.
I'll take it then. Yeah. Go team.
She's doing hand signs now. Go on, Brennan.
I can't even do mine sitting because I have to spin.
Come on, set that. See it.
I'm hungry. I had a protein bar. I need food.
Ours was 20-something years ago. Yours was not that long ago. You
It's a
better know
long
yours.
morph though.
But it's okay. We have
Oh my
time.
gosh.
Go on.
Center stage.
Go on.
Mic drop.
Alright.
All right.
All right, don't keep your helmet.
Yes. Trust.
It's morphin' time! Dino Charger, ready!
Oh, goodness.
Energize! Ha! Unleash the power!
Wow. That is a whole lot.
I told you.
Goodness.
Not very often. I know, right? Yeah, pretty much. That's great. I love it. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, but they shortened it. Typically, then later on, it just became unleash the power, you know.
Okay.
But like a few times when they wanted the full roll call,
The power and like your dinosaur would.
so our morpher is like a gun blaster thing, and so it would shoot the dinosaur spirit out, and then it would like go over us and morph us. Yeah. T-Rex.
You're a T-Rex.
It was. Yeah.
He has little arms.
Yes, and a big head. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, true story. Choose Triceratops. So they changed the other rate for some reason, but red is always T-Rex.
I just think of little arms. Fun fact, real quick. I did a pilot with Camille.
Oh yeah.
And she played my daughter. And it was so funny because we recognized each other, but didn't know what we recognized each other from. And when we were on set, she was like, I know you. And I was like, yeah, you look familiar too. And she was like, you're a Power Ranger. And I was like, you're a Power Ranger. And yeah, she played my daughter. It was really, really funny. Yeah, it was funny. It didn't get picked up. It was for ABC, but it would have been a very, very good show. Yeah.
How much did you have to rehearse that morph?
I don't know, man. A lot. I mean, I don't think all 10 of us did it together, because by the time there were 10 of us, like they just cut it and put it together to show all of us doing it individually. But only a few times did we actually do the morph in sync. And then it was, yeah, so cool. You should watch Dino Charge. Now that you've heard the theme song, it's good, right? Support a fellow ranger. Thank you, Kay. Thank you. There's one other question, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Can we find Nokia on Spotify?
Nikia, are you on Spotify?
Am I on Spotify?
How do you
Our
tell me this?
podcast is.
Podcast is on Spotify.
Yeah.
Oh.
You want to see
Oh,
her
because of my singing.
beatboxing.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't do that.
That's okay. I'll do it for you.
Thanks. There you go. Kat, you can do it. That's exactly the same noise. Yeah,
Exactly the same.
exactly the same.
Exactly.
Twinning
You know
right
what?
now.
When we were talking about morphing sequences, when we were doing the shift into turbo, good jibbly wibbly. It was a hot mess. We had to learn we had to learn
You heard it here first.
we had to learn the morph while we were filming the turbo movie, and we could not get it together. You know, we're supposed to put that key into the ignition. It never went. I'm just letting you know. It never went into the ignition because I don't know, I feel like we worked on it for like an hour. And then if you go back and you look at the turbo movie and we finally do the first shift into turbo, all that kind of stuff, and then Blake goes the wrong direction, that look that I gave him was real. Because we had been working on that for about an hour, and I thought they were going to make us do it again because he went the wrong direction. I went, for real? I I will cut you. But they kept it. It was so funny. They kept it. But yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry.
It's hard. Well, because like during that spin, which you can't tell what I'm doing without the props. So I have my blaster in one hand and the dyno charger in the other, which is like a small battery. So when I go down, I'm opening the morpher, and we have to put the charger in the gun and then close it and then spin it like cowboy backwards up to our face and then spin a thing on the.
Fails.
Yeah, it was.
That's a lot.
It was a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I cried.
Are you crying?
I don't know.
No more questions. That was it, right?
That's it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Yay!